We've all been in those situations where you've invaded a 3v1 gank, and after a tense fight, all that's left is the host, who's been flinging Moonveil at you over and over while hiding behind his overleveled buddies. Now you've got him on the ropes. He's panic rolling for his life back to the side of grace to try and resummon his friends. Well, what if I told you that there was a way to make those moments all the more satisfying? A consistent backstab grab that you can use to really let him know just how pissed off you are. Hi, my name is Rust. I'm an Elden Ring content creator with an emphasis on PvP. Today, I'll be going over a couple of high-level techs involving backstab fishing. This video will cover roll catching with backstabs, wake up backstabs, and roll in backstab punishes. If you aren't familiar with the detailed mechanics of how backstabs work, then I suggest that you go watch my previous video covering this topic, as it will make a lot of this information make much more sense. Let me make this perfectly clear. Backstab fishing is always a less efficient approach to PvP than simply going for damage. The reason for this is simple. If you mess up, you're guaranteed to be punished. But this comes down to playstyle. It's no secret that content creators and players alike are getting tired of the PvP in this game. That's why I like to think of Elden Ring more as a farming simulator than a PvP game. I'm going fishing, not trying to be some glorified esports champion. Roll catching with backstabs takes practice and the awareness to identify the opportunity when it presents itself, so that you can capitalize on it. The scenario is this. You're chasing down an opponent who is panic rolling away from you while unlocked, preferably in a long narrow space where you have more time to adjust their roll pattern. A roll has iframes until the player begins to stand up from their roll animation. During this window that they don't have iframes and where it's possible to get a backstab grab on them. We did quite a lot of testing and we were able to determine that iframes are only checked on the client side of the connection. So as long as your grab confirmation occurs while the opponent is not in iframes on your screen, then the grab is successful. Even if the opponent is extremely latent, they'll be pulled out of iframes of their roll animation into a backstab. The travel speed of spamming consecutive rolls is about the same speed as walking, so you need to position yourself by sprinting up to them, and then slowing to a walk so that you can time the grab. When you're tracking your opponent's roll, you want to start the backstab animation right as they're coming out of the roll into standing. Now, in most situations, you're not likely going to find someone that just spams roll over and over again. However, they do come up every so often. More likely, you're going to find a player that rolls 2 or maybe 3 times, and it's during these rolls that you have your opportunity to get the grab. But you have to be ready for it. That's where practicing this tech is really important. If you can consistently get your grab within 2 to 3 rolls, then you can absolutely implement this as a stable part of your toolkit. There's 2 situations where someone is likely to start panic rolling away from you, either being when they're trying to escape a vortex from something like Serpent Hunter, or they're at low HP and they can't afford to take any damage. These are the moments where the opportunity is most likely to present itself. After you've knocked a player to the ground out of the air, you can pull them into a backstab off the ground. The timing is tight, but the positioning is rather easy. All that you need to know is where they're facing when they get knocked down. The easiest example is when someone is using Dragon Breaths, because when you knock someone out of a Dragon Breath, then they get set into a heavy stagger on the ground. If you can time the backstab well, then they can't get up in time to escape the grab. With a normal knockdown, by simply hitting somebody out of the air, but oftentimes a player will try to time their roll to get back up to avoid getting roll caught on wake up. Going for a grab will confirm the backstab even if they try and reaction roll away from it. Once on the ground, you want to watch for the player's hand position. As their hand starts to come up off the ground, you want to initiate the backstab. If you time it correctly, they'll be pulled up off their back into a backstab. This only works when a player falls facing up. If the player falls facing down, like what happens after you land a successful backstab on them, then they are unable to be grabbed again, preventing you from being able to chain together consecutive backstabs. Out of these various techs, this one is the most applicable and useful, as there are multiple setup opportunities and it will generally work against players of all skill levels. There's a number of situations where your opponent might roll in toward you, and every one of these is an opportunity for a backstab punish. A lot of this comes down to reading how your opponent moves, their habits, and what you can use in your environment to create an opportunity. A lot of people fall into a habit of rolling in toward you out of hit stun, or whiffing an attack, as they're afraid of rolling directly away for fear of being roll caught. If you can space out your opponent's attack and close in on them, then you can predict the forward roll, and position yourself to get the grab on it. For this, your best bet is to walk into their range and strafe just enough to get out of the way of their roll. You can then pivot and grab them out of their roll. Some players will roll toward you after being staggered. Like me, I do this. Don't do this. For this, I find it best to have a soft swap to a dagger available so they can cancel the recovery of your attack, which will allow you to pivot quick enough to be able to get the angle that you need for the backstab grab. Alternatively, you can apply pressure by just simply existing and banking on your opponent to panic roll into you. If you notice that your opponent has a bad habit that you can take advantage of, then do them a solid and show them why panic rolling is dangerous. A lot of behind the scenes work went into this video, and I want to say a huge thank you to the people that helped me out with this video, being Zeus and Foolish Meta, but most importantly a huge shout out to Clayamore, who's the sole creator of this tech and the exclusive holder to the rights and ownership of such title.
I am Clayamore, and I approve this message. Fuck you, rest.
Do me a favor and go check out their channels. Their information will be down below in the description. For the rest of the video, I'll be showcasing how these grabs look during a real fight. In order to make it very clear that none of these grabs were unintentional, I used a soft swap Museo chord for each of the backstab grabs. Other than that, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments if you found the information helpful at all, or what I can do to improve in the future.
Hey!
Hmm?
Nice.